And we are back. Raiders franchise. In the last episode, we ended up playing the Broncos, where we ended up losing our first game of the season, 45-30, in a game where we just simply got outplayed. I mean, our DBs, they had good coverage, but they would just throw the jump ball, and it worked. Our defense obviously allowed 45. We just couldn't stop that offense. In this episode, we're looking to bounce back. We were the last undefeated team. We're looking to hopefully keep the best record in the league, even though it is now tied uh, against the Chiefs. This is our third division game in a row before we hit our bye week. So obviously, we're 1-1. As you see, we beat the Chargers, lost to the Broncos. I think this is a huge game here because one, this decides, our division rankings, and two, I mean, we're 4-1. Last thing I want is to start going on a losing streak. If it is going to happen, though, at least it would be this week going into the bye. We do have a few things to talk about. We have a receiver breakout. I imagine this is going to be Dante Fortin. He put up 160 yards last game.
There aren't many.
How much pressure are you putting on Dante Fortin Jr. to have another big game? None. This was going into our year. Our wide receiver 4. So why put pressure on him, all right? Jack Beck is going to miss this game. Demario Douglas, who also missed the last game, he is going to be back, though.
Where strategies are discussed.
Critical game this week. What are you seeing in the film? This is a very balanced team. Nothing is jumping out in the scouting I've done so far. I do believe we can win through our defense, though. I mean, we most certainly can. Our best bet is to focus down on one aspect of the game. We're going to have to create our own advantage this week. Simply put, our offense. I want to force their quarterbacks into a mistake, blanket their receivers in coverage, get to the halfback in the field, make their quarterback make a mistake. Let's get to it, coach. I'll start working on the practices for this week. Make sure we're good to go. Simply put, I mean, this is Mahomes we're talking about. All right, settle in. We need to talk strategy for this week. I'm already hunting for big plays. I got you, coach. May even mess around and score a touchdown for us. Okay, Ronnie. Well, at least we know Hickman is locked in. Someone who has not played up to standards so far this season. In all seriousness, we need to force a couple picks and they'll fail to move the ball for the air. We can win this easy. We can easily win if our defense plays well. I mean, look at our score. We've put up, I'm pretty sure, an average of 30 points a game. 27, 35, 37, 30. In a game we lost, we put up 30. The one game we didn't put up 30, we put up 27. So we most definitely are, capable of winning the games. We're going to go ahead and hop right into it. Ooh, quickly show you the injury report. It is pretty long. A lot of these guys are, practice injuries. Jack Beck and Isaiah Polomeo were the two who were injured before this, with Jared Frazier being on IR. Devin White, Leaky Fotu both get injured. I believe Devin White might actually be one of those two is a multi-week injury. Devin White, yeah, 1 to 3 weeks. He could realistically be back after this game, but it's not looking likely. But they're going to be without Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, Josh Simmons, and Sua Matea. I mean, that's a pretty. Yes, it's not nearly as long as ours, but that is a worse injury report. Last thing I do want to quickly do is just make sure the roster is good with all those injuries. This generally could be like I am looking into getting a running back for next week, as well as I have been exploring a few trades. I do want to hold off for this week, though. Jermaine Pratt is one of the guys who I am looking at trading. So, we're going to wait a week because we are going into our bye week. I'd rather be at full strength now, make the trade during our bye week, have them be able to learn the playbook and all that. So just know, either at the end of this episode or at the beginning of the next. There could be a few signings. There could be a few trades. I mean, nothing is off of the table. Simply put, even though our record is 4-1, I'm not happy with how this team has played defensively. I'm not happy with how the run game has been outside of Ashton Genty. If he gets injured, we are in a world of trouble. 3rd and 8, incomplete pass, and we're going to force the 3 and out with Max Crosby, our best defensive player, getting injured on the play. 1st down, starting it out with a 3-yard rush by Genty. And we're Ashton Gillett, edge for the Chiefs, gets injured, and we are also going to go 3 and out. Shamari Connor with the pass breakup. 44-yard punt, no return by Bashard Smith. Browns, one of the teams who have the same record as us, win 31-20 over the Buccaneers. Back-to-back big plays. Rashee Rice, Juan Miranda, no, I didn't quite get to see it. Followed by 14 yards. Pacheco, 5 yards to Marquise Brown. They're right outside the red zone. We're going to hop in and watch this play out. They're facing a 2nd and 5. Mahomes scrambling. Gonna take it himself inside the 10, slides at the 7-yard line. 1st down, 15 yards.
A gain of 15 yards. That's another Kansas City Chiefs.
And Mahomes checks it down. Not gonna get there. Down to the 3-yard line.
Complete to number 83.
Key thing to mention is they no longer have Travis Kelce. He is now on the Jets, as Pacheco on the screen pass is in for the touchdown. We see Jeremy Chin get pretty much put in a body bag. He got yeeted. Extra point is good. Kickoff is going to be not returned. Starting us off with an incomplete pass by Smith, followed by a 4-yard rush by Turpin, and then another incomplete pass. So we've had 2 drives, yet to get a 1st down. Six yards for Pacheco, followed by an 81-yard touchdown. All right, it's very simple. We have to score this drive. 5 yards for Genty, 3rd and 5. We have still yet to get a 1st down. 12 yards to Rashee Rice. Denver leads 3-0 over 49ers, although they are very early in that game. Matthew Bullard, the fullback, 6-yard pickup, 3rd and short. They give it to Bashard Smith. 1st down. 10 yards to Rashee Rice. That's another 1st down. 6 yards to Xavier Worthy. Incomplete pass there. 3rd and 4 now. Ronnie Hickman gets there for the sack. And that's a huge one because that's going to make them out of field goal range. As we have to start at the 5-yard line, though. Darren Dean, the safety, knocks that one away. 6-yard rush by Genty. 3rd and 4. And our first down comes off of a defensive penalty. We are not going to count that. There's an actual one. Trey Tucker, 18 yards. 1st down. Dante Ford with a 4-yard pickup. Incomplete pass there. 3rd and 6. 5 yards to Genty. 4th and 1. We're going to punt it. I mean, with how this game's going, I would have honestly gone for it. We pin him at the 2-yard line, though, and 98-yard Pacheco touchdown. We've allowed already 200 rushing yards by him, and it is not even halfway through the 2nd quarter. He's ripped a 90 and like a 98-yarder and an 81-yarder or whatever. The extra point's no good, by the way, so we just got to take advantage of that. -2 for Turpin. We're facing a 3rd and 12. And we're going to be sacked by Leo Chanel. 37-yard punt. 11-yard return by Bashard Smith. Penalty on Eric Stokes. That's an automatic 1st down. Tyree Wilson with the sack. 2nd and 16. Jonathan Colt, the D tackle, injured on the play. Incomplete pass. We're facing 3rd and 16 now. And it's dropped by Worthy. 4th down. They're going to punt it 45 yards. No return. We're going to start at the 4-yard line. It's a penalty on the defense. George Karlaftis gives us a huge break there. 2 yards for Dylan Lobby. 5 yards for Dylan Lobby. 3rd and 3. We picked up the first down somehow. 8 yards for Trey Tucker. 10 yards to Demario Douglas, first down. 4-yard rush by Gino. The pass is incomplete. Drop by Douglas. 47 seconds left. We're facing 3rd and 6. I was not paying attention to the timer. We're closing in on half. And it's intercepted. Tried to hit Trey Tucker. Shamari Connor with the interception. We might as well actually. Okay, nothing happens. We missed the halftime show. I apologize. I wasn't even thinking about that either. All right, we're down 20. 6 yards to Brock Bowers. We need to simply we just need to forget the first half. We need to treat it like we started the game down 20 and we have, half a game to come back. And we're moving the ball. Oops. Second and inches. The ball or the line to gain is literally purple, so. Gino to throw. Gonna take it himself. Makes a man miss. That's Nick Bolton. Slides at the 14. First down.
A gain of 19 yards. And a Raider first down.
Gino is gonna get in from 14 yards out. And we're on the board. What a great, response to that first half. We score on our opening drive of the second half. We just need to see now our defense step up. This isn't over. We were down 24-3 going into half last week, and, we put up 27 points in one half. 12 yards to Pacheco. Granted, we also allowed 21, so that's where it has to change. Offense has to be good. Defense has to be good. It has to be both sides of the ball. Pacheco's just running it down our throats. 5-yard rush by Pacheco. 3rd and 2. -2 by Pacheco. 4th down. They're going to take the field goal. We're going to watch this kickoff because if you can't hear, the audio is glitched. The fans are cheering in the sim, which isn't supposed to happen. So we're going to just watch this kickoff. Hopefully nothing, bad happens. Turned up to the 31, 32. Way to fight for it. Monte Linton, undrafted rookie. At least we're not the only team losing. Denver getting blown out 34-6. First play is going to be an incomplete pass, followed by another incomplete pass, followed by a penalty on us, so it's 3rd and 20, followed by a sack, so 4th and 26. And that punt barely gets past midfield, and they're going to return the pass. So, oh my goodness. The bye week cannot come fast enough. Tyree Wilson with another sack. Eric Stokes knocks that one away. 4th down. We're down 16 points, by the way, so it is still 2 scores. However, we are going to need to rely on getting both touchdowns and 2-point conversions. We also need to rely on not going 3 and out. There's a penalty. It's not going to change anything, though. We're still going to punt it. 73-yard punt. Beautiful job. Pinned at the 2 by Isaac Ford. Penalty on the offense. They're pinned at the 1. 2nd and 11. 3-yard by Pacheco. 3rd and 9. 4-yard by Pacheco. All right, here's our chance. They get a good punt, too. Are you serious? 10 yards to Trey Tucker, just short of a first down. 2nd and inches. 7 yards for Genty. Takes us to midfield. Another 7 by Genty. Incomplete pass by Gino. 3rd and 3. Incomplete pass. Okay, we are going for it. That's good. I'm going to call the play myself. Screw it. I'm tired of Gino throwing the ball away. Complete to Douglas up to the 33. First down. First down from the 33. 8 yards to Trey Tucker. 2nd and 2. 9 yards to Brock Bowers. First down to the 16. We're in the red zone. We're going to hop into slow-mo. Complete to Douglas. up to the 6-yard line. Good run after the catch. First and goal.
A gain of 10 yards. That's another Raiders first down.
And off to Genty. He's in for the touchdown. And obviously we're going to go for 2. Because if we do, it's still a one-score game. Looking. And it's incomplete. Douglas unable to hold on. Nick Bolin with a good timed hit. So we trail by 10. 8 yards to Rashee Rice on first down, 2nd and 2. 3 yards to Pacheco for the air. That's a first down. 5-yard rush by Pacheco, 2nd and 5. 9 yards for Pacheco and a first down. 26 yards for Juan Medrano. Medrano? And it's very simple. If they score a touchdown, the game's over. And the extra point. And down to the 8-yard line, 1st and goal. That was Juan Medrano, whatever his name is. They go handoff to Pacheco. He's down to the 2-yard line. He's just murdering us. 2nd and goal from the 2. We need a goal line stand. They get Pacheco. He's in. And most importantly, the extra point as the dagger is good. They lead by 17 with 3 minutes left to go. We're not even going to watch the rest of this because even if we score, we'd have to score 3 times in 3 minutes, which we don't. 30-13. And we're only 20 minutes in. We're on it. I just quit out of the game. It's fine. We can check the stats. That's. Are we able to? Yes. View box score. Player stats. We don't care about you, Kansas City. We know we got murdered. Geno Smith, 19 for 37, 156 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Just a horrible game by him. Barely threw 50%. Genty actually averaged 6 yards a carry, but we were trailing the whole time. We had no reason to give it to him. Our 2 touchdowns came from Genty and Smith on the ground. Receiving, Demario Douglas 6 for 52. Tucker 6 for 56. That was really it. Those were the only 2. No one else had more than 2 catches. Blocking, 2 sacks for Grant, 1 for Colin Miller. Defensively, 8 tackles for Porter, 7 for Richardson and Eric Stokes. Bunch of guys with tackle for loss. Tyree Wilson, sack and a half sack for Jonah Leilua. Ronnie Hickman with a sack. Kicking, didn't even attempt one. Punting, 49-yard average. I mean, this was just a bad game, and that's something we just can't afford to happen. Thought Dante Fordham was going to go off, but it just didn't happen. Hopefully I can get him back on track next game. Probably not. Because Jack Beck should be back for the next game because it is 1 to 3 weeks, and I was going into this week. Tough loss today. What went wrong out there? Everything. We couldn't stop the run. We couldn't stop the pass. Everything from the game plan to the effort. We lost. We have to move on. We're going into our bye week. We have to, strategize, go in there with a strong mindset. That's how it has to be. As we're going to go into the weekly recap. Chiefs and Raiders. Mahomes throws a screen pass to Pacheco, 40 touchdown. There's Jeremy Chin getting absolutely bodied. We got destroyed 30-13. Next, we had the Broncos and the 49ers. Here's one of the few bright spots about this week. Did the Broncos actually come back? They were down 34 to whatever. Okay, no, they didn't. It's a pick 6. I'm assuming. Is that Diamador Honor? 34-20. 49ers win that one. Finally, the Giants and the Eagles. It's going to be Saquon Barkley. Runs to the outside. He makes a man miss. Breaks another tackle. 24-21. Eagles win in a close one. We're going to go ahead and advance week now to the bye week. And since this episode is so short, I already have an idea of what I want to do in the bye week. Like I said, I've been off camera looking at trades, looking at free agents. If you don't know, this has been happening every week. Or not every week, but pretty much like every week. It's just been giving us that same scenario, which we already happened. One of the possibilities that we are able to do, and this could, get a decent amount of hate. We have the option to trade wrong team. Yes, we could trade for Nakobe Dean, who's a 78, 25-year-old. They would want. Okay, the trade has changed. It was originally Jermaine Pratt. Which I was more than happy to do, but it's like I want to wait until the bye week. Because Jermaine Pratt is now the backup. The trade still goes through. We end up trading Nakobe Dean for Jermaine Pratt straight up. Nakobe Dean has more upside. Jermaine Pratt is more proven. Jermaine Pratt has not played to my expectations so far this year. Not to mention with Matt Royster. We have all these declined trades. What do you mean? I didn't even trade with them. Is it because I opened the best offer? Another move I wanted to make was, as I mentioned, I did want to sign a halfback, and I have decided on, there he is, Justice Hill. You are going to be our running back 2 for the remainder of the year, hopefully. We do have to cut a player. It is unfortunately going to be you. Chris Collier, I know we elevated you from the practice squad, but we're going to cut you again. Sorry, Donabi, you've been averaging like 2 yards a carry, which is not enough for me. Justice Hill is also a bit of a receiving back. So hopefully he'll be able to get in there occasionally. But those were the 2 big moves I wanted to make. Now, if we quickly go over to our lineup, we're obviously going to have to manually fix some things now. We don't have another Will. That's our big issue. Kobe Dean's going to play sub linebacker. Deion Jones will be demoted to backup. And then we are going to put Gavin Andrews out there as well. He does get the Sam, though. So I really do like this trade for us. Uh, the signing, I mean, that's just something that I felt like needed to be done. We need to have a proven backup for us. As for negotiations, obviously, there's now going to be Justice Hill. Um, we'll see, right? I'm not going to commit to him. But this receiving battle is really close. And looking at people I want to re-sign, Brock Bowers, fifth-year option is a must. Jeremy Chin, I do like. I want to see what his contract is because I prefer not to bring him back for 3 years. He would be 31 going into age 32 season by the time his contract is up. These other guys, Mario Douglas and Trey Tucker, they're good deals. Trey Tucker is actually really good for what I see him as. But I ultimately think with how young our receiver core is, one of them's gonna have to go, and it's just a matter of who it's going to be, when it's going to be. Because it's like I don't plan on re-signing him. I don't plan on trading him either. So that's where I stand. As for this now, we're going to take a look at the lineup. This is pretty good in my opinion. I'm hoping this team is good enough to turn it around because we need it. One last thing I want to check is he eligible to come back? I don't know when I put Jared Frazier on IR. I know it was during the preseason. I'm hoping he's able to come back next week. As for Devin White and Jack Beck, they're still projected to miss probably nothing more than, this. But we should be good. Uh, I think I'll keep it on the bye week for now in case I decide to do anything else. But I don't plan on it. I do plan on this being the end of the episode and this being the bye week episode as well. Kind of combine it to one. I know last year we did the bye week as its own separate episode. It just kind of depends. That was year one. It's a bit different. I actually like the team I have after how year one went. It's just I saw one move while browsing trades, and I was like, if they're willing to offer that, I'm going to take that 10 times out of 10. They offered it, I took it. Right? The goal is always to rebuild these teams. I see a young-ish guy who's the same overall as someone who is done progressing. Like I'm 100% gonna make that trade. There's no reason for me not to make that trade. So, yeah, but that should do it. There was one other thing I remember wanting to do, but I don't remember it. It was a player I had on a 2-year deal. I remember that, or not. They had 2 years left. It wasn't Terrell Edmonds. It was an older guy. I remember that. Might have actually been Devin White. Kevontae Turpin is probably someone who's going to be gone at the end of the season. Oh, well, I don't see him there. To be like, Turpin, I'm happy with the trade. Don't get me wrong, because Raheem Mostert, I was not going to re-sign regardless. So, I mean, he's played to the same capability I thought Raheem Mostert was. He is a bit more expensive, is the only downside. But I do think he will have some trade value because he is someone who can play receiver very well as he is a gadget type player. He just, in my opinion, doesn't get on the field enough for my likings. So I do want to keep him for the rest of the season, see if he's able to blossom into something. I do still have, hope for him. But as it stands, if the season was to end today, he would be someone I would get rid of. But that is going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. In the next episode, it's either going to be we play the Patriots or we have a bye week part 2. We'll see when we get there. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.